that. All right, we're recording. Because I know you guys have probably had some of the same questions that I have had, because there's a lot of information out there. Now, I have a few images that I'm going to share with you guys. I'll post them after we get off the call. So there's 3 different options for people to enroll. There's either like people that don't have Beachbody On Demand. So then there's challenge pack options for them to purchase that'll give them the 12-month access. And those vary in price. And all of the challenge packs are $10 off right now until, okay, there we go. They're all $10 off until January 14th. So the workouts launch on demand on January 15th, and they're going to be loaded like 1 week at a time for the entire program. So there's no skipping ahead. There's no like cheating, you know, like people are just going to have to follow the workouts and follow the program. I mean, like, I know we're probably going to get some pushback on that from some people who are like, you know, I'm not really sure. But like, here's the deal. If you go to a gym, if you pay a personal trainer, like your personal trainer, you're not going to know your workouts, you know, 2 months in advance when you're doing this. You're not going to have, you know, a gigantic program calendar from your personal trainer. Like if you're taking a class at a gym, that's one thing because you know what to expect. But this is like actual fitness, weights, workouts that are going to get people results. And people they just have to understand that they have to trust the process. And the nutrition plan, I know people are like, what the heck? Like, hold on just a second. Sorry, guys. Girls, I'm on a call. Thank you. So the nutrition plan, I know, is going to be a little bit like, people are going to be like, what is this like timed nutrition? Yeah. Thank you. Here, you can pour it right in here.
This is what's talking.
So the nutrition plan is timed nutrition, which I think is a little bit new to a lot of people because Autumn has it planned out that you're supposed to eat an hour before your workout. And people are like, what? Okay, thanks. And like, how am I, if I'm getting up at 5 to work out, I'm not getting up at 4 and eating a meal. Like, that's impossible. And I completely agree with that. And then she wants you to do your workout and then have your protein. And then after your protein, then you're going to have your breakfast within an hour after that. And I can see people's heads exploding, and they're going to see this nutrition plan and they're going to be like, I'm not getting up at 4. I'm not eating, you know, a banana in my bed. I'm not, you know, making a full breakfast. I'm not having protein. I just want Shakeology. You know, like I know that there's going to be a lot of chaos about that. So I want to just like, and what I'm doing with my people is just reinforcing, like, listen, different things work for different people. You have to do what works for you and your family. Like, you can't stress out about the nutrition plan. Know that you're still going to get results. You're going to do 80 workouts over the course of 97 days. Like, you're going to get results. If your nutrition isn't 100% on plan, good, because mine's not going to be 100% on plan. Like, you're not going to tell me that I'm not going to eat tacos and drink wine at some point during those 97 days. Like, come on, let's be realistic. So I think letting people know, like, listen, and I can speak from experience as having done competitions before. Yes, you want to have some kind of a carb-ish meal before your workout. So if you down an applesauce pouch as when your alarm goes off because you keep them on your nightstand, like, that's a great idea. And then if you go down to do your workout within 30 minutes of that, I think that's probably legit, because that carb source, and that's, you know, like a fruit carb source, banana, whatever somebody wants to have, is going to help give you a carb source to fuel your muscles for your workout. So I think, that being said, there is some stuff in there that will kind of be working out the kinks over the next month or so until the workouts launch. So I would just ask, you know, if you have a private group going for that, awesome. You can go live in there. You can share things like this. There's tons of Autumn Calabrese stuff that she's putting out in her 80-day obsession group. Melanie just sent out an email. I don't know if you guys got the email from Melanie, but she's doing a coach group specific for 80-day obsession that's going to just be coaches. And I don't know if she and Autumn are doing it together, because I know Autumn on that call mentioned that she was going to have a coach group. I don't want to be in 15 coach groups. Like, I want to do my group. I want to be in like one guided group by like Autumn and get some information from there and share it with my challengers. So that's 100% what I recommend, is get in the Autumn group, get the info from there, share it into your group, take notes, and just reassure your people that like, hey, this is 3 months of consistent fitness and nutrition, and we're going to make it work, and we're going to do it together. So there's no need to stress out about anything. It's not going to be a complete overhaul. We're going to know more about the nutrition plan as it releases, and we're going to help you with that, and we're going to help you get the best results you can, and stuff like that. So that being said, there's program bundles including BOD. There's program bundles excluding BOD. There's coach purchase packs that just coaches can purchase. We can't purchase challenge packs, but it's like, you can purchase a, Energize Performance Protein, all the equipment and stuff like that, or you can purchase the basics, which is like just the equipment. And I think that any of that stuff ranges from like $60 to like $200 or whatever, depending on how much you want to personally invest. And do remember that that does include your volume as well. I think I'm just, because I order my performance stuff under Luke, so I'm not going to be purchasing personally any of the performance stuff, because that's just, I get it through Luke's account. But I'll be ordering the slides and the bands and that bundle, and that also gives you access into the Autumn Calories group. Like, they just have to verify that you've purchased some kind of a bundle. So I think $59.95 or whatever is it for us coaches, and that gives us the equipment. And Autumn said on a call the other day, like the bands are great. Sometimes after a lot of use, they can break. So it's nice to have a backup set. So if you're like me and have already ordered bands from Amazon, I'm going to go ahead and order the Beachbody ones anyway, just to see how they work, to see how they compare, and to have a backup set on hand. And because it's Beachbody. Does anybody have any questions about the 80-day obsession stuff before we dive into the next little bit of info?
Well, Sarah is running like I don't know. I don't want to speak for you, Sarah, but you're doing whatever Miguel talked about in the National Wake Up Call as far as like sort of the holding group. Is anyone else doing that? And can we just like chat about how that's working? Because I'm not, but I thought it was a great idea. But I'm like, my husband just got home from being gone for a week, and I'm like barely keeping it together mentally. So I'm not really doing anything right now except getting my life back together. But I'd love to.
She's still in bed.
What?
I said that's why you're still in bed.
Yeah. I got out of bed, got coffee, and then got back in bed.
I just texted her and asked her if she was at a hotel, because before I could see the pictures, I'm like, did you run away to a hotel?
I know, I saw that too. I was like, oh, where are you going?
I wish. Can I go stay in a hotel by myself somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah, like, I don't know about anybody else, but Monday's wake up call was really overwhelming. Like,
so fast.
They talked really fast, and like they were really excited about life, and I had a hard time keeping up.
That guy is nuts.
Miguel?
Who is it?
Miguel, he's nuts. I met him in Punta Cana. He's a whack job, like total whack job.
Well, I think he took like 10 doses of Energize and kept on going.
Yeah.
So honestly, that's all I got out of Monday's call, because I couldn't focus. And it's always been something that I kind of had in the back of my brain, because I struggled with, like, on the 10th of the month, someone buys a challenge pack, and my challenge group is halfway through for that month, and I'm like, thanks for the $160. I'll see you in 20 days. And so like, or like that awkward small talk. Like, I wanted to provide them with something. So I thought this month I would try that holding group, and it's like the perfect time, because I can throw like some tips in there into, to like get through Christmas or whatever. And so I tried it, and it's working. I don't know. The worst thing you could do is fail, and then it's not like you hurt yourself.
Right. And like, I think sometimes we put a lot of expectation on ourselves because as a coach, like you want to make sure that you're helping somebody and you're not like, you know, they're signing up and they're like, oh my gosh, what a fraud. Like she totally signed me up and then bailed, you know, which is never the case. But I know I get that way too. Like I just signed up a girl who it's like 2 weeks into my holiday survival group, but like not quite ready for so I'm like, well, I'm just putting them in my holiday survival group and tagging them in the intro post and saying, don't worry, like I'm going to catch you up to speed. Don't feel like you're behind. Like everybody starts on a Monday, like new week, fresh start, all that stuff. I did a group for the Prepare to Be Obsessed sneak peek, and I had like 20 people in that. So I'm just keeping that group rolling. I changed my cover photo to 80-Day Obsession. I did a post in there talking about 80-Day Obsession, and this is the launch. And I just said, stay tuned. More information is coming. Like I'm not rolling out a ton of stuff. I'm just little bits here and there. So I think that's a really great idea to do, is to kind of like what Miguel said on that call. And what I took away from that call was like, I've just got to get back in touch with people who said yes this year but never committed, or people who were interested and I really like the voice message idea. However, I will say, like, I voice messaged a chick who's had Messenger for like that I've known for like 2 years, who was under a coach of mine who had canceled, and she had interest about the group. So I voice messaged her like 2-minute-long messages telling her about, you know, this, that, and the other. And she messaged me back and she goes, I don't have voice message. And I'm like, okay, that sucks. So that's what I think about, like sending a voice message. I don't know who does and doesn't have voice messenger. I like that idea. If it's somebody that I've talked to previously and has voice messenger, I just don't want it to be too copy and pasty. So sending messages to those people, and then just having a group, creating a group for January specific, and you can have it as a launch group. And if you're going to do a launch for 80-Day Obsession, great. If not, just a, you know, new year, new you, resolutions to results kind of thing, whatever. And then in there, you know, just pepper in some recipes here and there, and share, you know, some holiday survival tips, and you know, that challenger support document, put that in there. Let them, you know, this is how you get familiar with your workouts. I'm telling my people, hey, I would love for you to get in a round of 21-Day Fix before the new year if you can. I would love for you to do the 80-Day or the Prepare to Be Obsessed sneak peek workouts if you can. Like, these are some things that you can be doing right now to get your mindset in the right spot for starting fresh in January. So, so that's kind of, I'm just, maybe once or twice a week right now, I'm going to be checking into that group and just sharing some information. I did my blog post. I'm going to share that in there. I did that little document for our team. I'm going to share some stuff like that in there, and just kind of keep engagement going. And I think,
question real quick.
Yeah.
So these are already people that are signed up with you then?
Mine aren't.
Not necessarily. Like, some people are brand new.
So
like,
is this a Facebook group of like people who have told you they want to join but have not signed up? Because that's kind of what I was thinking.
Mine are the
Oh,
ones.
many people
Mine are
this
the ones
month.
that are interested.
Tell me in January. Like I'll sign up in January.
Yeah. So like I have a couple people who are waiting until the 80-Day Obsession stuff launches, like the challenge.
How do they even know about that though?
Just from doing posts. Like I did that photo album on my page the other day of like all the 80-Day Obsession results. And like, if you want to request to join the group, click this link. And then
I'll have to check that out.
So I don't know if you saw that document I posted in our team page with like successful things you can do to launch this 80-Day Obsession thing. But there's a list of things in there that I like, not all things that you have to do, like, but just a list of things that like, this can help you with launching 80-Day Obsession. These are some things you can be doing right now, you know, currently, like in a group, out of a group, on your page, you know, if you do a blog, things like that. So there's that little document in there that there's a lot of really good stuff in there, really good tips that you can kind of use, that anybody can use for the launch of that program. So people that I have that are interested, I'll probably do one of those posts on Facebook once a week until it launches, that, you know, where you can change the color of your text in the background and just say, you know, who's interested in getting into a group for the first of the year, like comment below, or, you know, just have, you know, anybody trying a new fitness routine in January, you know, little stuff like that, that people can comment on, and then I can add them into that group. Or would you be interested in starting a new fitness program in January? You know, just something like that. And then, yeah, those people that I've talked to this year, I'm going to go back to them and I'm going to say, hey, you know, I know you had some interest this year. We're launching a new program. I've got this group opening up. If you're interested, great. You know, here's a link to join the group. If not, no big deal. You know where to find me. And just kind of keep it really casual, because I feel like, yeah, there's probably people that are going to be starting in January, and some of those people that I've talked to this year may have done something else. So just giving them the option to join, and then in that group, just sharing stuff like that. I probably will go live on my Facebook page at some point this week, my personal page, talking about 80-day obsession. And I know that's like kind of taboo, because like, oh my gosh, you're a coach and you're going to talk about a program on your Facebook page. But I feel like I do have a lot of people that are interested, or at least, you know what I'm doing, and are probably curious to know a little bit more about the program and the experience that we have with the Prepare to Be Obsessed workout. So I'm going to do that at some point this week too. And I'm out of town this whole weekend, so I hope this launch isn't like something crazy. And remember this, the new new teambeachbody.com website launches on December 11th. So everything is going to look brand new Christmas morning on December 11th, like shiny and new. I don't know exactly what time. Expect that you won't be able to log into your online office to check anything for a couple hours. Anticipate that links are going to be chaos, and just let people know we're revamping and remodeling, and it might take 24 to 48 hours to get get our shit together, to get your stuff showing up and stuff like that. So just a cautionary heads up on that. But yeah, so 80-day obsession, I think, just like any other launch, we just kind of have to talk about it and share and do the Prepare to Be Obsessed workouts and talk about that and go live and in a group, make a group, have a group. If not, if you want to jump into my group, I have plenty of ability to add you into that and just give you some ideas. And I don't mean jump into my group and add people unless you want to, but if you want to jump into my group as a fly on the wall and see what I'm doing in there and copy and paste and use and stuff, you're more than happy to do that too. And that goes to anybody that's on the call in our team, and all of that. So I'll share those images later today. That's what I'm sending to people too. Somebody asked me for pricing, I'm sending them the pictures. And I'm not going to talk to them. I'm just going to say, these are your options, because they all include Shakeology or Performance Line, except for the basic bundle. And I'm not sending them the basic bundle unless I know they're already on Shakeology Home Direct. Then I'm going to say, listen, we're going to cancel your Home Direct and we're going to order this challenge pack, because you're going to get more for your money when you do it that way, instead of ordering the $60 stuff and then your $130 Shakeology. Like, we're going to cancel that and we're going to do a challenge pack.
Are you, like anybody who's interested for January, are you pushing the 80-day obsession?
No, I'm going to talk to them about it and just get a handle on their fitness level. And if it's something like, if they've done 21-day fix before, I don't think it's a beginner program by any means.
That's what I was concerned about.
So if it's somebody that, like I have a challenger who's just done 2 rounds of 21-day fix, and she's like, I have goals to lose 25 pounds this year. Can I do this? And I'm like, yeah, like you're active, Now if you need 2 knee replacements and you have sciatica and, compressed vertebrae, I would say absolutely not. Like, don't do this program. But just kind of getting a gauge on people's fitness level. And then I'll probably run a separate group for people who, because I know I'm probably going to have at least one person who doesn't want to do 80-day obsession. And I don't want to just say, well, you're on your own on January 1st, which is kind of a pain in the ass to have to do 2 groups. But at the same time, like, I'd rather help 5 people who don't want to do AD obsession than have them run somewhere else and, you know, maybe not get the help that they could. I don't know. So, and that's something we could consider too, is doing a team group or something. I know there's a couple coaches that are going to do the health bet thing again in January, and where that would be great. I feel like that was kind of chaos, and I'm not prepared for program launch and health bet again. But yeah, so there's a couple options there. Does anybody have any other
for 80-day obsession?
I didn't hear what you said, Kelly.
Sorry, I'm like a mile away from my computer.
No, you're fine.
I'm going to use the challenge group. Excuse me, the challenge group script for 80-day obsession, or are you going to because typically in the past when I've run 2 groups, like with Shift Shop, I literally use like the Shift Shop challenge group script, because who can come up with 2 separate things, and they needed different things in each group.
Right.
So are you planning on doing that or no?
I haven't even looked at it yet. I know there's a link in the back office. I do want to look through it and see, because I like some of the stuff that they put in the challenge group scripts, but some of the stuff I feel is like really generic, or it'll be just like a motivational quote and like a picture, and I'm like, I mean, I'm long-winded. You guys know that. Like, I need to talk to people about stuff. So sometimes I'll use that picture, an image or whatever, and some of their text, and then I'll add in some other stuff. But
because a lot of times it's like tips from the trainer, you know.
Yeah, and they have sometimes they have some good nutrition and Shakeology stuff in there that I like to share too. And I still go into some of the old challenge group scripts and pull stuff from there if I'm like, you know, having a brain fart on a day in a challenge group. I'm like, oh, well, I'll just pull something from the Shakeology one and use that in my group. So
okay.
I'll probably use it and I don't know if I'm going to do an app group for 80-day obsession too. Like, I haven't even thought about that yet. I feel like that's so much work. I have all these people in a Facebook group. Do I want to move them over to the app? Do I not? You know, like, I haven't even thought about it. So I'm going to let my brain think about that for the next couple of weeks.
Sarah and I both use the app, and then we just make each other coach admins on our groups.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just steal from each other. So it's like, it's actually not hard at all. Like, if I can't come up with a post, I literally scroll through Sarah's group and I'm like, oh, dang, this was a good idea. And I just take it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can because there's like a post library, you know, and then just post it in your group. It's like super easy. So if you guys wanted to do that, like if you do decide to get on the app for 80-day obsession, like the 4 of us, or I guess Kelly's on the call too, she could, we could all be admins on each other's stuff, and then we can just pull from each other's things.
We can do a Google Doc I have a Google Doc somewhere of challenge group post ideas. I don't think I have, but maybe 3 or 4 of them on there. But that way we can just throw a bunch of stuff in there, and it can kind of be a source for scrolling through and picking out posts and stuff.
I think that's a good idea. If you could even because I've started a Google Doc for myself, and I'll have like nutrition and hydration and fitness tips, and then I copy and paste to those, and then that way, like if I want to do a nutrition one on Tuesdays and a fitness one on Thursdays or whatever, then it's more specific instead of having to sit there and scroll through like a bunch of post ideas.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, let's work on that, and then maybe just try to get something going like before the January group starts. Just kind of get something in place. I have to check on my kids real quick. Goal setting. Michaela, do you want to jump in for a little bit?
Sure, I can. So Ashley and I were just kind of chatting a little bit off and on this week about what we'd like to see our Saturday morning calls shift to a little bit. I know that everybody has been doing really well about getting on the national wake up calls or listening to Melanie's calls, and it's like great information. And I don't think that we always need to sit here and reiterate that stuff to you. I personally don't want to see our Saturday morning calls be us like talking to you guys unless it's like answering questions and stuff. So I was talking to Ashley about finding out what you guys want from us on Saturday mornings, as far as like what you need to be held accountable for, or what you struggle with the most, if it's you're sending out invites or friending people or whatever. But if we come up with an actual like structure of, you know, what's your puke goal for December? What's your puke goal for the next 6 months? And what's your puke goal for the next year? Actually write it down and then come up with like every Saturday when we come in to the call, I feel like we need to actually say, all right, so this is my business activity tracker for the week. And I can sit here and count out, like I friended 20 people this week. I've started conversations with 10 people. I have this many potentials or something, and just physically and actually follow through with this to do more of a check-in, to like hold ourselves accountable, something that I think that a lot of us can struggle with. So it was just an idea. So what's your guys' kind of thoughts on setting something like this up for our Saturday morning calls?
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, you have like almost like a template that we follow, you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, yes. Ashley was saying that Ashley said that she has shared some business activity trackers before, and she could come up with one that we can use, which I'm fine with whatever. I know there's some in the back office too, but I thought that if we just got specific to exactly what it is that we want to be held accountable for each week. Like I use this notebook, like this is my tracker. I tried using Excel and Streak and some of these different ones, but so far for me, I mean, yeah, when I become like a 10-star and I have 20,000 coaches underneath me, I'm probably not going to be able to use a notebook, but right now this works for me. And it's just like a 3-subject notebook. So the first section is all friend requests. Like if I've friended them, then I write their name down. If they accept my friend request, then I go in and like put an asterisk or whatever by their name. And then the second section is for conversation started. So if I've actually started a conversation and I know a little bit more about them, then I move them into there. And that's kind of like, I'll keep my notes of when we talked, what we talked about, a little bit about them, like how I know them, you know, from my past or whatever. And if I've talked to them anything about fitness and nutrition. And then the third is like my challenge groups. So I basically have like my current challenge groups, and then I have like a page for my potential next challenge group. And anybody that I've actually started talking to about that challenge group goes on the potential page. And then so I'll have like a potential challenge group page and then my actual challenge group page, just so I can keep track. So, I mean, for me, so far, this has been the best system that's worked for me, but don't obviously do what I do. I mean, you have to find what works best, and everybody has their own systems in place. But to actually have the notebook for me has been way more beneficial than it was when I was just trying to go back through Messenger. And I know we've all said this before. This isn't any new information. You know, it was just something that clicked for me and has been working. So, I mean, how do you guys track your businesses?
I'm kind of all over the place, honestly.
Do you think that us making you do a check-in every week and knowing would help you get, instead of all over the place, like to one place?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple different systems that I use, but I guess what I was asking was, is there going to be like a format for the call? Like, not necessarily like
what we're checking in with, but how we're going to do it.
Yeah, like what we should expect to be talking about every week.
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of up for discussion. I mean, we're kind of up for discussion on that's kind of what I want to know, what you guys need from us so that we can give you guys the best source of us for the Saturday morning calls. But I'm kind of thinking like, all right, so it's Saturday morning, we kind of have our introduction. Does anyone have any questions? Whatever. And then it goes to Sarah, and Sarah tells us how our week is, and she checks in. She's like, I friended this many people, and I, you know, just to give us check-ins and ask any questions that she might need. And then it goes to Kelly, and you get your 5-minute floor to basically check in with what you've been doing. I mean, do you guys even think that would help you if you actually had to come to the weekly call every week and be like, all right, this is how many people, and with your goals, like, did you hit your goal for last week? And what's your goal for next? I mean, are you guys pushing for your SC5 every week instead of every month now? Like what Josh Coates was saying.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think that personally, like, I need the accountability just like I do the workouts. You know, if I have no one to follow up on me saying like, hey, you didn't push towards your goal this week, like, what's up? Then I'm just not going to do it. So I think checking in once a week, that's a really good idea.
Okay. Yeah. Like what Ashley and I were saying was, well, for me personally, I feel like I listen to Melanie's calls. I listen to the National Wake Up Call. I don't have an hour to sit here and listen to the same things, but I do need the accountability. So it's just like in our daily challenge groups, like I need to check in somewhere for my workouts, like you said, and I need someplace to check in. So I would like to see our Saturday morning calls go more into our accountability coaching with each other. And just, Sarah, if your goal is SC20, then every week you should be pushing for 5. And how many people are you going to message every week, or friend request every week to get to that goal? Sorry, I just saw your face first, so I used yours.
No, it's okay. They were laughing at my face because I was like,
what are you going to do, Sarah? Tell us right now.
oh my God.
But, I feel like you got to be held accountable if you're gonna do it. And I need it just as much as anybody. So, you guys are up for it, then yeah, I think Ashley and I can put up some business activity trackers or whatever, but I think everyone needs to actually commit and post to what their goal is. So, for me, like my goal is going to be to friend request at least 20 people a week and to actually start, 5 or 10 conversations. Like I need to actually sit down and write it out what I want to accomplish. And then I say we post it into our group, like start a pinned thread or start a thread of like puke goals, and everyone puts it there. And then when we talk again next Saturday, you come with your numbers of, what was your goal and how many did you hit? So, but everyone's could be different. It's not like, I'm not going to sit here and say that Ashley's numbers have to be the same as mine. She's got more time than I do outside of like my full-time job. I'm not saying she's not busy. Just for me, it's not realistic to start 20 conversations in a week. There's no way I'd be able to talk to everybody.
Right.
No.
I think that's good. I also would like to just like, I want to hear little tidbits like from everyone on sort of like what you're doing with like the information that you got from the National Wake Up Call or from Melanie's call. So like, for example, I saw, because I'm friends with Sarah on Facebook, I saw that she has this like countdown group, and I don't know what she's doing with it. So like, I was anxious to talk to her today about this and just see like, how are you working this? Like, what are you doing with this? Because I knew that was an idea from the wake up call. I just, in my mind, hadn't thought about how I was going to execute it yet. So I think like having a time in our calls for like all of us to share sort of like, okay,
what you're doing.
Here's our takeaway from the week, and here's what we did with it.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I do. I think it's a great idea because everyone does take things different, and that's what we're supposed to be building off of each other, and what works for one person might not work for the next, or they can tweak it to their own needs. So yeah, I think within your check-in, I think you should be saying like, this is what I've done, or this is, yeah, I think that's good.
Just like time for, questions for each other. Like,
yeah.
So I have a really good tracker, like a weekly tracker that I posted in the files section. And let me just bump it up real quick. Daily activity tracker. That is it's a PDF that you can print off, but because I needed, whenever I started like really paying attention to tracking my business, I needed like direction. Like I needed to be able to sit down and look at a piece of paper that said, these are the things that I know that I need to be doing this week that will help me grow my business. And it goes Thursday through Wednesday, because Thursday is Beachbody payday. SC points at the top, goal, and you can literally print out 4 of them, which, I know the extra paper, whatever, but if you're buying a notebook, like what's the difference, than just having these stapled together or put in a 3-ring binder or something like that. And you can literally go in, and there's 1 through 5 for new invites, new contacts, and follow-ups for every single day, workout, Shakeology, Facebook posts, other social media posts, new challengers, coaches, weekly income paychecks, Success Club points, checked in with groups, checked in with coaches. So that for me, and you don't have to use this, but I'm just saying like this was a way for me to visualize like things that I needed to do every day. And if I could put that on top of my laptop, so when I sat down, it was the first thing that I saw, and don't put it off to the side. Like I see this and okay, this is what I need to work on right now. I need 5 new invites, 5 new conversations. I need to add 5 new contacts today and write down their names. and then follow up with 5 people. And those 5 people can be from January of last year, or they can be from yesterday. You know, like it doesn't matter where they come from as long as you're consistent with your behaviors. And then just checking off those boxes. You know what? Do I have any new coaches? Yes, this is who my new coach is. Write their name down. New challengers. Yes, this is a new challenger I signed up on Wednesday. Your Thursday paycheck. So you can visually see that, and you can kind of track, okay, I want my income to be, it's $114 this week. I want to double that, you know, by the end of the month. I want my paychecks to be at least $228 by the end of the month, you know, so that way you can kind of get a gauge. And it really helps, like going into that leadership ladder in the online office, to see kind of where your personal level is, and what you can kind of do to get to the next spot. Hold on, guys. Hi.
So since the party with all those friends over, the Barbie couch has been.
I don't know if that popped up for you guys in the team page, if I bumped it up. And I can screen share if you like, but is everybody able to see that, or do you want, let me just do this real quick. So just to be able to print this off, and like I personally need to do this because I'm using, this is what my planner looks like right now. Like I have names in here from one day. I have things I need to do. I have some other names, like, and it's blank a lot of this week because I haven't done a lot of stuff. But then I put it in my other notebook for some of the invites that I've done. And for me to use 2 notebooks and go back from a planner to a notebook, like I already am stressed out with anxiety. I don't need to be doing stuff that's going to make it even worse. And when I use this, I know that I'm on it. Like personal development should be at the top because we should be doing that every day. You know, workout, Shakeology. Okay, that's a given. Like those are easy boxes to check off. But to be able to have a list, and what I really personally recommend is using 3 different highlighters, like 1 for new contact, 1 for new challenger, 1 for new coach, and then highlight those people either as you message them, what you've messaged them about, or when they sign up, or circle them when they sign up. But when you can see, and if you can see, like, even if you fill up 2 boxes for each thing for the whole week, like that's 14, 28, what's 42 new people that you're talking to that week, even if it's just 2 people a day. But to visually be able to see that and then just know you have these other boxes that you can check off makes a big difference. So I maybe try it next week. Maybe try printing it out. Try it next week. See if it works for you. If not, try something else. Trial and error. But what I can say is stick to it like glue. And know that, girls, please.
I just pulled it out of the couch.
You did great. Go shut the door.
So Ashley, are those new contacts just people that you added as friends on Facebook? Is that what that means?
Yeah, and you can, I mean, if you want to do it differently too, you know, like if you want to just put new friend requests or.
I like this. I'm just trying to clarify because I want to know, like.
Yeah. So I try to do new friend requests.
So that's your new contacts, and then your new invites are like, is that like anyone you've
like slash new conversations? Like,
okay.
You know, and sometimes new contact kind of is new conversation, you know, like sometimes somebody will tag their cousin in a post that I did about fitness, and that's kind of a new contact invite person. But just to have those spaces where like, all right, like when you sit down to your computer and you're like, I don't even know where to start. Well, okay, it's easy to send 5 new friend requests. So I'm going to do that. And then you have them in here on Thursday, and then maybe by Saturday, they're new invites or they're, you know, new conversations where you just send them a message. So there always should be new something coming into this group. And then to be able to have this to look back to, like, okay, well, I'm going to follow up with you next month. So you put, you know, Susie down here, and Susie's like, I'm not ready, hit me up in January. Then you can, you know, circle that and make a note, you know, in January. And sometimes what I do is I'll set a reminder in my Google Calendar. Like if she says follow up with me in a month, I'll set a reminder in 3 weeks to give me an alert that pops up on my page or on my calendar that says follow up with so-and-so, and here's a link to their Facebook page. So that way I can go back into Messenger and I can see that and like, oh yeah, she wanted me to follow up with her about my next group. If I did that for everybody, I'd probably be a lot more successful. But sometimes I do that when I remember, and it helps. But maybe we do this, everybody that's on the call, print it out today, and I'll do a little post in the team page about using this and print it out today. And then next Saturday on our call, I won't be on the call next Saturday. I'll be out of town. But next Saturday on the call, this is something that we can talk about, or you guys can talk about, or I'll pass the mic to Michaela and she can.
Yeah, I can do it next weekend. Is anybody opposed to doing it earlier, like 8 o'clock? I mean, I don't know what your guys' mornings are like, but I'm usually like trying to get out the door by this time to get errands ran. But I mean, I don't know. I also don't want anybody to have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning if they don't want to. Like, I'm an early bird, so I don't know. What time does it work for you guys? Do you guys like the 8:30, 8:45 slot?
I'm good earlier.
I'm not saying, I'm thinking like 8. If you guys are good with 8. Kelly's not saying much.
No, I didn't want to cut anyone off. I'm the same way. I'm a morning person, and a lot of times I had a hard time making the calls because I'm already out doing stuff or whatever happens, and I think that's great.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am too. So next Saturday, let's plan on 8 o'clock. So cool. And yeah, I can run that. I can set up the link and stuff, Ashley.
Okay.
I probably won't be on it. We'll be out of town too.
Well, then you're fired. You're not on it.
So let's do this. And Kelly, you and I can hold each other accountable. Let's work through this sheet, and then we'll just take a picture of it and post it.
Oh yeah, I can do that for sure.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that we should all do anyway, I think. Yes. We should all post a picture. And you know what? Like, sometimes mine looks pretty empty. So not going to lie, like, just being honest. So that way we can say, all right, well, you know what? Ashley didn't hit Success Club this month. Look at her sheet. Like, it's been pretty empty. That's why. But that way we can kind of show. And this is all like we'll take out the personal development, the workout, the Shakeology and stuff. The other social media posts, but just these 3 blocks of, 5 names, contacts, and follow-ups should not be more than 20 minutes. 30 minutes tops, I would say. Adding 5 new friends takes, all of a minute and a half.
Wait, I have a question. Ashley, how often do you go back through your friend request sent and either do you resend them another or do you
I try to like once a month try to go in and delete. And then I don't worry about sending them again. And then sometimes I'll forget and I'll see a friend request pop up, like so-and-so accepted your friend request. And I'm like, oh, who? And then you have to go in and look.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I feel like I got a lot of them that I would say that maybe half end up accepting and half of them don't, but I feel like I have all of these sitting out there. And honestly, I tried to do that like separate friends list on Facebook to where you can actually click on that list and see only them through your news feed. So then I can be more relevant and like actually, because I forget these people. If I don't know them and I'm friend requesting them, then I don't always know to go to their page and comment. But if I add people who accept me over to this like secret friends list, then I can like just look through them on my news feed. So like I need to like clean that up every so often. I was just wondering how often you did that.
Yeah, and that's something that you should be doing every month. Everybody should be, if you send out friend requests, because Facebook can like they can track that, and if they see that you're sending out 1,000 friend requests and leaving them hanging, then so it's good to go in and clean that up regularly. I am going to so we're all on the same page here. I actually need to update this, so that's going to be my goal this week, is to update it with raise the bar on it, and maybe just reword a couple of these things. And then I'll repost, but you can go ahead and print this out today and start putting it into place. This is like one of my favorite things to do after I put the kids to bed and we sit in front of the TV at night, is to like pull this thing out or pull out my notebook and just go through and highlight things and use different colored pens and stuff. Nerd problems, right? I mean, like, let's be honest, like this thing of different colored highlighters and pens, just totally, I love it. It's great. And if I can use Post-it notes and like I love, oh God, where are they? My little Post-it note tabby things that like you stick, well, of course they're not.
Maybe you were supposed to be a teacher.
I'm terrible at teaching. No.
I love that shit.
Teachers love pens and Post-it notes.
Yeah, I just love me some.
Don't you, Sarah? Admit it. You love all that shit.
These different colored little sticky tab.
Yeah.
I'm an office supply like geek. Like I need to office supplies and I spend hours.
Yeah.
Back to school time, like people are like so mad that it comes out in June, and I'm like, yes. So I start buying, like my cart's full. I come home. Eric's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like,
All the Post-its.
yeah, crayons. Like, why do you need 50 boxes of crayons? Because I do. Like,
I'm a geek because like I buy the planners and the notebooks, but I like them. Like, I don't want to write in them. Like, I like them, but I like, don't want to mess them up. It's like, ooh, what if I like write it in pen and then I mess it up? Like, I just
Gotta use pencil, sister.
I know I do use a lot of them. But then
I was like, why don't you have pens? I was like, because I'm a teacher. I have mechanical pencils for everything.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. No pens.
I have a quick question, not to change the subject, but so Melissa is, I'm not saying she's backing off from coaching, but Dan is going to be quitting his job and they're going full force into like the winery and the olive store. So she's like, I'm going to continue with the challengers I have, but she's not really investing any time into coaching. But she has a new coach, Samantha, who has already signed up somebody. So I'm going to really try to work with either anybody that she has working. I need to get her involved. And then Cindy Pickering has a girl who's like all in. She's been wanting to coach for, hey guys, could you go into your playroom, please?
No.
I was gonna say I can't hear you. All I hear are your kids screaming.
Okay. Can you leave the room? I just want to know like what you guys would recommend for me to do with work. Basically, my question is, what would you do if I have coaches underneath me who are signing up people who want to work, but they're not really 100% working?
That's normal.
I mean, I know it's normal, but I mean, should I be stepping in and trying to help the coaches?
Yeah, and that's why there's upline support everywhere, because I just encourage, like, get in the team page, just check into the team page, like reach out, like I personally don't want to push and drag anybody. Like, I'm going to tag your face all the time to come be on the call, but if you're not going to show up, like, that's on you. Like, I can't drag you along, to.
And I'm not saying drag along.
Right.
Like Melissa and Cindy are both like still active, still running groups and stuff. I just didn't know if they're going to be able to give the girls enough support. And if they're interested, I want them to.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of just a conversation, like kind of a one-on-one, like, listen, like, I really think you should do a new coach training. I really think you should work through this. I really think you should kind of just understand a little bit more of the basics and know that, like, I'm here to help you 100%, but so is this team. Like, there's some of us on the call sometimes that, like, just kind of randomly get on and don't, and like, everybody's kind of here to just help each other. And I don't think there's one, like, you need to be listening to one specific person. Like, a lot of information that I bring to the call, I grab from Melanie, and sometimes I use more from her than I do from Deidre, and I connect with her sometimes a little bit better than I do with Deidre. And I've gone to her for questions in the past where I haven't gone to Deidre. So I'm not afraid to use whoever that, and sometimes I talk to Megan Blinka, who's one of Deidre's coaches, and like, I connect with her really well, and we work together and brainstorm a lot of times. So just knowing that, like, this, I think the dream team is pretty damn good for that very reason, that there's so much support throughout the entire team that you can always find somebody to connect with, or somebody has some kind of a resource. I don't always throw people right into the dream team right away. I think I've posted in the team page, you can join the dream team here, or I'll just ask them, listen, like, this is kind of our umbrella upline team, and there's a ton of resources in here. So if you want them, here they are. Come get them. I can add you to that page too. But I think just staying connected on the calls makes a really big difference, and just being able to get on the call every week and talk to people, hear other people, understand some of the training stuff, some of the basic principles. I think honestly, you know, dedicating those 2 to 3 hours a week to your business is kind of a big game changer. You guys know it. Talking to somebody else, like on a call like this, makes such a big difference when you can hash out some questions and hear some other tips and stuff like that. But yeah, like, I think 100% do a new coach call with them, like you would with any other coach. Just do a new, and I like to do the getting started right calls before we start a new coach training, because that's kind of a newbie call. And if that's something that we have a couple of newbies that want to jump on and do, we can schedule a separate 30-minute new coach call for that. You know, I hate to do more calls, but a brand new coach getting on a call like this is going to be like, whoa, as opposed to a brand new coach getting on a call that's like, this is how you set up your online office. This is how you post on social media. This is what you should be doing every day, you know? So,
I have a few questions that was on my list of questions to ask today. Did you already do that sneak peek into coaching? Like you were going to?
No, we were going to do that this week, and then Deidre had her baby. And so I was like, well, I guess we'll just postpone that. Darn you and your baby. But we were going to try to do it on Monday. But I'm going to be out of town this weekend. So I'm going to lean in heavily on her and Misty because they've run them before. But I'm all for that. I think, like, we have that live look into coaching group. I've linked a couple other live coaching groups to it. But just talking to those people and going back, yeah, like I need to message 100 more people this weekend, but going back to those people and saying like, hey, I know you've thought about coaching before. This gives you a chance to try it out, especially with new programs launching in January being a huge time for health and fitness. You might really want to get in and ahead of the game right now. And they just are basically going to do a 2-week sneak peek and have access to the workouts. And we're just going to encourage them to share a little bit of that on social media. Not like you have to share pictures of yourself in a sports bra all over your page, but like talk about health and fitness, post a motivational quote, post a healthy recipe, like basic stuff. And then just see what kind of feedback they get, and then see what they think about the workouts and see if that's something they want to do. And then basically it's a join the challenge group and work through a challenge group for a month. And if you have a couple people interested, great, bring them along to the challenge group and we'll do it together. So that's kind of the goal.
My other question is, like, I have 4 people that would be phenomenal coaches. And I've, like, 2 of them I've talked to before about it. I just, like, they look at me like I do a ton of work. And I, like, I mean, like with Tracy and Miranda, like they're still coaching and they're still bringing people in and we're doing things together. I don't feel like I'm selling coaching very well. Like,
right. I think it's hard because I stay home and coach, and I'm like, how many people work full time and they look at me and they're like, I don't have time to do that all day long and talk to people, you know? So I think it's hard to do it, to sell it as how I coach. And I just, initially it was like 30 minutes a day, checking into a challenge group over my lunch break in between classes, morning and night, 20, 30 minutes. And I just really try to, like when I talk to somebody brand new about coaching, I just really try to tell them, listen, like you can absolutely do this business in 1 hour a day. Like if you have 1 hour a day that you really want something more, or that you want to just pay for your groceries, you know, or you want to just pay your car payment or whatever it is, you can make that work. And I'm going to teach you how. And that's why we do new coach training. And that's why we do, you know, we teach them to do it. And for me early on, I didn't have the time to give to coaching, but I wanted to make it work. And I think kind of helping those people figure out their why, like figure out like, you know what, you're really great at this. Like you're kicking ass on your workouts. You're doing all the things that a coach does. You could totally do this. Don't you think you would, you know, do you have the ability to, you know, and that's when you can kind of just get them on a one-on-one call and kind of talk them through a little bit of stuff too. Like kind of just talk them through like, all right, so this is kind of what I do. And you don't have to run challenge groups 100% on your own. You can tag team them. Like Tracy and Miranda could do a challenge group together and they could alternate the posts every day. Or, you know, they could spend 15 minutes on a Sunday taking posts from, you know, we're taking stuff and making a Google Doc of posts that they can use for the week. Or, you know, just kind of talking through the conversation. So I wanted, and I know we're getting to the hour mark and I didn't want to be on too long, but I wanted to look at the goals that we had kind of set for push goals. And I'm not going to call anybody out. But I remember when I very first set some goals for myself and they were pretty lofty. Like they were like, oh, I think I could probably be diamond in like, you know, a year and a half, or I think I could, you know, like, and I have brand new coaches that are like, you know, my 6-month goal is emerald. And I'm like, dude, like you could be emerald tomorrow. Like sign up your mom and your husband, you know, like you could be emerald tomorrow. And I want to just reinforce that, like, these goals, like where they might seem pretty big and grand, they can be doable in 30 days. They can be doable depending on how much time and work and stuff you want to put into it. But some of those bigger goals are just big and intimidating because they seem that way, and they're really not. Like if you think about diamond, it's literally helping 8 people. And sometimes it's, you know, it's a struggle. Yeah, it's a struggle. But when you're consistent with your habits, it's definitely doable. So some of these push goals, like, it's awesome that we've set them for ourselves. We should push. We should all push together. We should push a little bit harder, and we should push for something bigger, because if we don't, then we're just standing still and we're just not doing anything, and we're getting burned out and we're getting frustrated. But when you challenge yourself and when you challenge what your abilities are, and where you take your, like, you know, I kind like, just like Josh said it, like I set goals for myself that were like probably achievable. But when you set them to where they're almost unattainable, it kind of just takes you to a different level of thinking. Like, you know what, I don't give a crap what this takes, but I'm going to make it happen. And it's going to be a challenge. And you know, like when you're pushing for a promotion at work, or when you're pushing for, you know, I don't know, I can't think of anything right now, but, but out of that comfort zone and that challenge is doable. And I encourage you to take a look at your rank goal, and rank goals are rank goals. But like, I know at 2-star, you start to get a quarterly bonus. So my goal for 2018 is to have at the bare minimum a 2-star bonus for the year. And the 5-star bonus jumps up quite a bit. And I'm like, man, if I could get that 5-star bonus next year, like that would be awesome, you know? And that scares the crap out of me, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do, how I'm going to get there, but I know that it's challenging me to recruit more working coaches. And that's something that I personally struggle with, is recruiting working coaches. But I know that that's what I need to work on, because it's my weakest thing. So if inviting is something that terrifies you, well, that should be at the top of your goal list. That should be, you know what, I'm going to invite 10 new people every week. I'm going to invite 30 new people every month. I'm going to invite 3 new people every day. And to the point where you just get fluidly comfortable with it and you're not even thinking about it. It's just second nature to you. So, and I can tell you, as far as growing your business and hitting those next big rank advancements, it's going to happen through recruiting coaches. And if you suck at recruiting coaches, well, damn it, so do we all, and it's a struggle. But you know what? Like, putting yourself out there and talking about coaching is one of the best ways that you're going to have conversations about coaching. So if you're not doing enough coaching posts, do them. Do more of them. Do at least 1 a week, 3 a week. Get uncomfortable and tear the Band-Aid off. And oh well, like, sometimes people are looking for this opportunity, and it takes a while to find them, but we'll find them. And you know, how many of us moms are better off for coaching and helping other people than we were before we were doing it? You know, like, this isn't the career path that I would have chose for myself. And I still think about going back to work to be a nurse all the time. Am I going to? I don't know. But right now I'm doing this and I love it. And I wouldn't change it. And this was totally an accident, being a coach. But look at all you guys on this call. Like, had I said no, where would we be right now? I mean, who would be miserable and like probably hungover? Because that would be me. I know that for sure. Yeah, even though I went to a party and did Jello shots last night, I didn't do as many as I normally would have, and I feel really good this morning. So just think about that. Think about the opportunity. I think about people that like you guys, like people that I want to talk to and hang out with. Like, not only do I want to talk to those people and hang out with them like outside of coaching, but like, I want really awesome women on our team that are like going to be strong and empower other people. And when I see those people on social media, you're damn right I'm going to send them a message and be like, you would be a kick-ass coach on our team. And if they say, no thanks, I'm not interested. Okay, well, now I've put the bug in their ear, and oh well, like, I got out of my comfort zone and I feel a little bit stronger today than I did yesterday. So that's all I got. That's a little soapboxy tyrant grade right there, but I just needed to say it. So December, end of year, you didn't hit your goal for the year. Who cares? I didn't. But I look at the way this team is right now versus where we were in January, and we are a hell of a lot stronger, and we've helped a ton more people, and we have done some pretty damn amazing things this year. And I'm not going to cry on the call, but I feel pretty good about where we are, and I feel pretty good about where we're going in the next year. And if you can't look at your personal business and say that, like, then you're doing yourself a disservice, because you have all done amazing things this year, and you've all had amazing victories. And Kelly, you're freaking going to Mexico, dude. Like, that's awesome. And Michaela, you earned your leadership spot. And Kelly, you got to Emerald this year, and you've helped a ton of people. And Sarah, you've lost 35 pounds. And like, this year it's amazing. I mean, you guys, yeah. So I'll hang up before I cry, but I'm really proud of this team, and I'm really proud of where we're going. And it scares the crap out of me to set bigger goals like that. But you know what? Like, we're going to do it together, and we're going to fight. We're going to win. We're going to push, and we're going to inspire and motivate people along the way. That's what we do best. So, all right, ladies. I'm going to post a recording at some point today, and I'll share some of those images and update that document. And yeah. So anybody have anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Okay, let's keep growing. Keep growing. I don't even know what that means. Growing, rolling. Yeah. All right, guys. Have an awesome weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.